And you mentioned a name I actually might have ahead of Javonte going in round 3. That's James Conner. I do love him in round 3. I've been going a lot of drafts. I actually have started running back. It's the first year I've done that in quite some time. But to me, Connor's presenting a really interesting opportunity to do that. So you mentioned him. What do you like about him? Is there other guys in round 3 you really like too?
It's just even before Chase Edmonds got hurt, we were just seeing the immense upside that Connor had, just from scoring touchdowns and a really good offense. And I love when I'll tweet something and like one of the beat writers will send me some little tidbit. Like imagine that, man, like a beat writer actually just supplying some extra information when applicable, instead of just retweeting the team account or some bullshit. But any beat writers out there, I love you guys. I'm just talking shit. But okay, what and I forget who said it, but basically they brought up the point where the Cardinals don't really trust Kyler Murray to QB sneak. He's only done it one time his entire career, and when they've had Chris Streveler and the Colt McCoy out there, they've done it like 4 or 5 times in like 2 or 3 games like that they've actually been out there. So it really seems to have been a conscious choice not to have Kyler do the QB sneak. So James Conner is someone that when you see all these touchdowns, and everyone after a player, Conner had 18 touchdowns last year, so people just yell, oh, he's a regression candidate, because people think they sound smart, and it's just it's easy way of saying like, yeah, he's had Cooper Kupp's going to regress because he's probably not going to have the greatest wide receiver season ever again. It's like, oh, thanks, man, like doing me a lot of favors here. But with Conner, like if you look at the role he had, man, and without Edmonds, my God, 6 games, RB1, 17, 7, 12, 2, 1. Again, like his workload is again being set up to just be someone that really would be a first-round running back, but we're not taking him there because he's, been a guy a little more injury prone than others. And I have heard doctors, bring up that due to his, past being a cancer survivor and everything, he is a little more injury prone than other guys. But man, you look at some of these running backs, and if the only reason why we're not drafting them is if they get hurt, and we're not talking about someone already hurt, there's a big difference. But what if they don't get hurt? Then you win? That's not bad, man. If like you're able to, let's think about it. We're playing a 12-team league. So that's giving us, 0.8 or whatever. It's giving us an 8% chance to win theoretically or whatever, if we're dividing it by 12. You're telling me there's a running back that where my chances are going to skyrocket if I get one other decision right? That's a bet I'm going to be willing to take, I think. So guys like Conner, even someone like Cam Akers in round 4, I just think the potential workload on the line is way too much to ignore. I had a study go up on PFF.com looking at the play callers and who's like most willing to actually feature a workhorse running back. And behind, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Matt Canada and stuff. And even before him, man, we've just always seen Pittsburgh feature, time after time. So other than Pittsburgh, man, Arizona and Los Angeles Rams, Sean McVay, have really been the 2 teams most willing to feature the workhorse running backs. And we've seen that with Cliff, man. David Johnson before, his tires blew out. Chase Edmonds, he was getting featured 90% roles when James Conner was out of the picture. Kenyon Drake before that. So again, it's just about the role. And in Conner's case, no, I don't think he's like a Jonathan Taylor talent, but we still saw some flashes out of him. And that one-handed touchdown catch against the Bears, like I don't think the dude's washed by any stretch. So I think a lot of these concerns are why he's available in the 3rd round in the first place. So yeah, if he was a first-round running back, I'd probably take the guy I'm a little less worried about getting hurt. But again, in round 3, I really like Conner in lineups where I've already got a couple wide receivers, because again, I think he can easily be an RB1 for you if he's healthy. If not, again, first or last, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. All those points. And to steal some from a tweet you had earlier this year, number 3 graded receiving running back, 37 of 39 targets caught, PFF's highest graded pass blocking back. I mean, the risk is if he loses that role and Benjamin sneaks in, because that's Edmonds was eating into that work, but there's no way you're taking off Conner for Benjamin, in my opinion. All the hype he's getting, I don't know. I can't buy it. Plus, you could just draft the backup. Whether you think it's Darryl, whether you think it's based on this recent hype, who knows? It's very crucial to find out, given Conner's injury history. But we know, as you mentioned, Kingsbury loves his workhorses. If he goes down, somebody else is going to be fed, and it's going to be a great offense that you'll probably get 80% of Conner in round 16 too. So maybe I love it. I absolutely love that pick indeed. So yeah, I don't have much else to say. I think it's a great stab there. Whether you go running backs early, whether you go receivers early, there's just too much upside. Plus Kingsbury and McVay, they're all kind of that same breed of offense too. So yeah, I love that. You
How are you
mentioned
feeling about Kyle Pitts in round 3? That's the one that gets me sometimes, because I do think if the right combination of players are gone, if Connor's gone, so it's like your top 14 or 15 running backs are gone, and then your top 13, 14 wide receivers. The Chargers guys are gone. AJ Brown's gone. Michael Pittman's gone. Like, once it becomes Kyle Pitts versus guys like, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, I was talking about this on the PFF Fantasy Pod with Dwayne McFarland, but you could start to argue that it's Kyle Pitts with a similar kind of receiving projection to some of these wide receivers he's going next to. And at that point, man, especially again, if we're talking a little bit later, round 3, then by that logic, we're then getting an earlier pick in round 4. Like, give me Kyle Pitts, and one of these kind of wide receivers that we have lumped into the same tier is probably going to fall to you in the early parts of round 4 anyway. So that's another reason why I've really enjoyed taking the running backs, because I do think there's, a pretty clear top 12, 13, 14 wide receivers. But man, once you get to kind of that wide receiver 14, 15 points, if you want to give Michael Pittman benefit of the doubt, go ahead. Like, he's a dog. I get it. So, if we'll just say like Terry McLaurin to Allen Robinson, like there's 10, 12 receivers there that are just like, I can see it, but I could also not see it, because there's like a pretty glaring red flag, and we all have our rankings. We have guys we prefer in that, but I think we should also be able to look at that group and realize that it is a tier. And when you have that big of a tier, don't be afraid to take the tight end that may never be this cheap again, or one of the workhorse running backs that, again, probably should be going earlier based on their projected workload.
I think Pitts is an awesome name. I'm glad you tossed him out there. I was going to follow up with him, actually. So perfect timing, synced up there. I'm 100% in lockstep with you. Once Connor, even over Connor, sometimes if I really like my 2 running backs, it's such a huge, massive potential edge. He just had a really impressive rookie season at one of the hardest positions to make the leap to, with nobody else. He was doing better when Calvin Ridley was there to draw a little bit of attention. I love that they drafted Drake London, particularly in the red zone. It could free him up again. It's asking a rookie tight end to take on the number 1 corner of a team each and every week. And he was succeeding certain weeks too. That's
a Dolphins game, man. He looked good against X and Byron Jones. I mean, hell.
Absolutely. Yeah. He can get it done. He's an absolute freak profile. I really think he's going to be going round 1, like kind of like replacing Kelsey as the heir apparent come next year. And people, Mariota, how could he succeed with him? Delaney Walker was the tight end 3, tight end 5, and tight end 4, 133, 102, and 111 targets across his 3 seasons with Mariota. Hadn't done anything before that. And Delaney's the man, a great player, love him, but he's not Kyle fucking Pitts. Like, Pitts is an absolute freak, the Megatron comparison. So I'm 100% with you. I think he is a great round 3 target, particularly if you have 2 running backs. And as you mentioned, we're looking at ADP, and we should have said this at the top, is it does obviously vary from underdog to like your home leagues, because there's going to be some receivers we talk about in like the round 5 through 7 range that just won't be there at underdog.
Right.
Like Allen Robinson, Gabe, like, I don't know how those guys are there at round 5, but that makes me that much more confident to take a guy like Pitts that will probably put up wide receiver 1 numbers at one of the toughest positions to find. So yeah, if I miss out on, I don't draft Mark Andrews very often, because I'd much rather have a round 3 Pitts than him. So yeah, I'm all in on Pitts. If I'm not going running back, it's probably because I went Kyle Pitts in round 3. So great name to toss out there as well. I've seen him even fall to round 4.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.